Welcome back, Rainmakers, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to get into it with something that I've been telling you has been coming on top of Juanchain, and that is Zookeeper. Now, it's developed by the same developers behind OneSwap, and if you've been following the channel, you're already familiar with what OneSwap is. So Zookeeper is kind of like an upgrade to OneSwap, and it works together with OneSwap. It just has added some gamified liquidity providing that involves some NFTs, and we're going to get into it. So, in today's episode, we're not only going to show you what Zookeeper is, but we're going to talk about what's going on with Juanchain and where it's at, and why I'm still a believer in Juanchain. We will look briefly at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we'll cover all that so I can give you a full picture of what is going on, not only with Zookeeper, but the Juanchain token that it's associated with, as well as how Juanchain relates to the bigger cryptocurrency market. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this party started. Join me, Rainmakers. All right, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed, here's what you get when you subscribe to my channel. I'm an investor. I've been investing in the crypto space, not for forever, just for 4 years. I've been an investor, however, for more than 20 years. Investor in real estate and other things. I've been mentored by some very smart people. Myself, I came from very humble beginnings. Poor, had to pay for everything myself, go out and work for everything myself, and I know many of you are in that condition. Now, some of you might come from the silver spoon, and that's great. Coming from not having much growing up and having had to earn it all, I appreciate that actually very much, and I'm glad that my life started out that way because it helps you appreciate everything that you work for to get. What I also like about it is you realize that everything out there that you want is attainable through hard work and using your money wisely, which is what brought me to cryptocurrency. When I saw what was going on with cryptocurrency, I'm an investor, so not only did I see a lot of volatility. Now, I like volatility as long as the swings in the volatility are understandable. I saw massive gains, and I saw a technology that was going to change the world. And so, like many, I started investing in 2017, made some ridiculously good gains until I started to understand the life cycle behind Bitcoin, and that there is a 4-year cycle, and that there's a massive run. Basically the year after the halving, and then there's the massive run, followed by a large retracement, and then kind of a longer crypto winter, and then the cycle starts over again. There's a Bitcoin halving, there's some run up to that, there's the year later, there is massive gains, and then probably a retracement again. And so that cycle is very understandable to me, and I love it. And so during the crypto winter, as we call it, that's essentially a bear market, when many people left, I was right there, continuing to learn every single day and making some investments to set up well for this run that we find ourselves in now. So if you subscribe to my channel, what you're getting is my views on this. I don't know everything. I'm not even always right. I'm just often right. And I do look at things as an investor, and that's the perspective you'll get from me. I know other channels are like, if you like money, subscribe to my channel. Well, everyone likes money because money equals more options in life, right? So, yeah, I guess if you like making more money, subscribe to my channel because I want to share with you how an investor thinks about all these things, and hopefully that's helpful to you. None of this is financial advice, so don't construe it as financial advice. These are just how I make the decisions I make. As to what decision you make, that's up to you. I can't tell you what you should do. I can only tell you what I am doing, and I share it from that perspective. So let's talk about what I have loved about Juanchain. Now, Juanchain came out, it started its fundraising in 2017, did an ICO in 2017. Now, if you weren't around in 2017, you don't remember that. If you were around, you remember it because everyone was trying to get in to Juanchain's initial coin offering, and it was vastly oversubscribed, which means there were far more people interested in it than were able to buy. And so when it finally became tradable in, I don't remember, it wasn't too early even in 2018, it got bid all the way up. The price went all the way up to almost $10. Let's go way back here. So I'm going to go to the weekly. Oh, that doesn't show it. It will show it here though. Let's go to the overview and let's go to the max. There you go. So in beginning of May, it hit a price of almost $10. It was $9 and something. All-time high, $9.84. And so we're still way down from that, which I like, even though the technology has come so far since then. In fact, Juanchain has accomplished so much since then. They've been delivering on exactly what they promised. But back then it was just a promise and a prayer, and based on their cross-chain compatibility that they were working on, and everyone recognized how important that would be, Juanchain had so much hype and momentum. And then what happened? Well, the long bear market happened. And what I often see is then people forget about all these good tokens. Now, some people are new, they don't even remember them. But many people that were around back then, they forget until something is vastly in the news, the price is pumped tremendously, and then they're like, oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden, they're a believer in it. Now, as an investor, that's not how I think. I don't chase what everyone else is chasing. I identify the things that I think have really good value, and I buy them then. Then when everybody is talking about them, for me, that's at least exit point 1. Depending on the token, what I think the long term is, that might be my exit point 1, 2, and 3. And I might be cashing out completely on that one and rolling it into other undiscovered gems. And Juanchain has been one I have been talking about since I started making videos in this channel 4 months ago, and back then it was 38 cents. And now it's still very undiscovered, but it's no longer 38 cents. It is $2.14. And that's just, they've had some big news come out. Lots of good things going on. I mean, since I started covering them, OneSwap itself is new, and we're going to go over OneSwap today. Now, you'll get more information on OneSwap if you watch some of my previous videos where I cover it more in depth. But we'll go over it some today because it relates to Zookeeper, which is what we're going to be covering. Now, let's step back a minute, if that's okay with you, and let's talk about Bitcoin dominance and overall what's going on. So we saw in the 2017 cycle, Bitcoin had almost its market cap made up almost completely the cryptocurrency market cap. Now back then there was very few cryptocurrencies with any type of functionality at all. Many of the cryptocurrencies that were out there were really just different forks of Bitcoin. And so they couldn't really do anything different than Bitcoin. Even they might have had a block with a larger block size, or they might have had a faster block time or other things in that, but they didn't really add extra to the system until Ethereum came out, and you see this massive fall off in Bitcoin's dominance. And that's what happened as Ethereum's price ran up from all the way down at 25 cents up to $400. I think first $100 and then later to $400 and eventually to $1,600 before it too then retracing with the bear market. And so as that and XRP and Tron, some of the early tokens or altcoins with functionality came online, you saw some of this massive fall in Bitcoin's dominance, and then Bitcoin would take a big run up, and then a massive fall, Bitcoin would take a run up, and then this last gasp massive fall. This is when Cardano, Ethereum, and many other tokens had a massive price increase here, followed by some big retracements in the long bear market. So here we find ourselves in 2021, and 2021 is playing out very differently from 2017 because so many altcoins have functionality that's very relevant to today. And so Bitcoin did take a massive climb all the way till the end of last year as it climbed to all-time highs. A lot of people dumped their altcoins and jumped into Bitcoin, which decreased the price on many of these altcoins, and it helped increase the price on Bitcoin. And since then, Bitcoin's dominance has been sliding. Now, I do think Bitcoin's been trading sideways for a while, and it's due to have an increase. And here is just what I suspect will happen. It will have an increase, and it will break all-time highs. But at the same time, many of these altcoins that have lots of good news and lots of good things coming out will continue to increase in price too. So what will happen is that some people continue to sell their Bitcoin to buy some of these altcoins, all while a lot of new people come into the space buying Bitcoin, which will increase the Bitcoin price, but continue to increase some of the altcoins because many of the massive, what I call blue chip altcoins, have been trading sideways for a while too, and they're now taking a run. Hopefully you caught my video on eGold or Elrond's eGold, and they have had some really good increases since we identified the breakout on the charts there. And so if you were interested, hopefully you were able to participate in that breakout because it's had some good gains since then. Overall, here's the Bitcoin chart, and I have some of my previous drawings on there. So here is the previous all-time high. It is right close to that again. So it came up, tested it, came back. It's now sitting on this support that it constantly seems. This is now support. It used to be resistance. And we'll see if they're ready to break higher. It might be. Overall, Ethereum too is forming a nice W pattern. At the end of the W pattern, you usually see something along the lines of this, where it comes back to what this level was, and it did exactly that, and it came higher. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum does that. Now, am I holding a lot of Ethereum? No. And the reason is because though I think Ethereum can 5x from here, is 5x really a lot? Now, if you ask any stock trader, they would be like, what? It could 5x in the next 6 months? Oh my gosh, that's the most amazing thing ever. If you ask an experienced crypto trader, it's like, okay, so we're in the massive bull cycle and you're talking about something that might 5x. Okay, well, okay, that might be good for a small portion of my portfolio and more like stable portion, right? So it's not bad to have some of yours in what I call the stability sector of cryptocurrency. Now, nothing is truly stable in cryptocurrency except somewhat stable coins. But like Bitcoin and Ethereum are becoming like stores of value too, so they aren't as volatile. But with that lack of volatility comes lack of larger price increases. And so from here to the end of the bull market, I think probably Bitcoin will maybe 4 to 7 or 8x. I think Ethereum might 5 to 8x. Who knows? It could go to 10, could go to $20,000. Be pretty crazy if it went to 30,000, but I guess it's possible. Really, probably 5 plus x from here. So then I look over at other things and I think, well, whoa. What can they do? And the best way to really identify where they could go is by looking at their market cap. So they do have a lot of their total supply in circulation already. Their market cap is 351 million on Juanchain, and their previous all-time high was almost $10. And so they're essentially 5x away from their previous all-time high, even though their technology is amazing. Their cross-chain compatibility, they have some of the best solutions for that are out there, period. It just is not way higher because it hasn't hit everyone's radar. It's already on the big exchanges. It's on Binance, it's on KuCoin, so there's not some big announcement that, oh my gosh, Juanchain just got listed on Binance. So a lot of people are sleeping on this, and that's okay. I mean, if you're new, you think, oh my gosh, it is not hype, but I don't chase large green candles. What I do is identify what the hidden gems are. When they become unhidden and discovered, that's when I'm evaluating, is it time to sell? Not evaluating whether it's time to buy then. So one of the tokens I was just selling is Dent, and all of a sudden Dent hit everyone's radar. I was buying Dent 5-6 months ago when it was ridiculously cheap and people were wondering if it was going to disappear, but the technology was really good. It's just people's attention was elsewhere, which was a fantastic time to buy. And so I was buying Dent. Well, now that everyone's discovered Dent and it's doing amazing, then I'm like, okay, take profit 1 zone, take profit 2 zone. Okay, what am I going to roll that into that's still relatively undiscovered? For me, that's Juanchain. Even though the price is 5x from where we were buying it earlier, 4 months ago, it just feels to me like it has so much more room to run. Now, if you're not like a computer scientist or a cryptocurrency like smart contract programmer, sometimes it's hard to know if the technology is really good, right? You're relying on other people's validation or third-party validation. So is there third-party validation that Juanchain has superior technology? Well, let me share with you a recent news article. The third largest company in the world just decided to build some of their stuff on top of Juanchain's technology. And that is the State Grid Corporation of China. So essentially their electricity grid for the whole country selects Juanchain's blockchain technology to upgrade their national data management system. In other words, they can use Juanchain's technology. Now, they're not going to be building on top of Juan's public chain. They're going to do their own side chain using Juanchain's technology to track all their customers essentially and their payments and everything, which blockchain is really good at as long as your fees are really low, your transaction costs for doing it. And their transaction costs are really low, as you will see if you haven't already been following them with me now. So let's go back to OneSwap. And OneSwap has been available, I don't know, for about 4 or 5 months. And OneSwap is it's really a fork of Uniswap, but on top of Juanchain's technology instead of the Ethereum net. What you find is the fees are really, really small. Now they are working on making MetaMask work with Juanchain and OneSwap, and that's coming very soon. For now, though, they just forked MetaMask and made what's called OneMask, and so you install it just like you install the OneMask. It's a plug-in that you can put in for Google Chrome, you can do for Brave browser, and you can install OneMask, and then you use it just like so. You have your account number, and so essentially how you get it is you come to the markets where you can buy Juanchain, and this is the easiest way to get. There are other ways, but this is the easiest way to get money into OneSwap to begin with. And so you can buy Juanchain on Binance, you can buy it on Huobi, BitTrue, KuCoin. I know some people say KuCoin, I just say KuCoin. That's just the way it's going to be. Some of these other exchanges. I buy it on either Binance or on KuCoin, and then I send it over to OneMask. So I send it over to here, and bam, I have Juanchain in the network. Now, I have been farming like crazy on OneSwap, and so if I turn this off to show only the pair, so I show not only the pairs I'm in, but all of them, you can farm these different pairs, and they pay you in OneSwap's native token, the WASP token, and they give you rewards. Now, when I started doing this, WASP was selling for 2 cents, and now essentially, if we were to look at the price, if you click on this analytics tab, it'll show you a couple things. Number one, it'll show you the price of the WASP token, which is now 41 cents. So it has 20x during that time. Secondly, you'll see that when I started here in January, there was about 3.8 million of liquidity in the system, and now there's 10x the amount of liquidity in the system. So other people are discovering this, and they're coming from other things where they pay much higher transaction fees and coming to OneSwap for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of people farming on Binance Smart Chain, which is great. The fees aren't near as cheap as Juanchain's, but they're much cheaper than Ethereum. But there's so many rug pulls there. And so, the high risk, sometimes returns are good. So many people have come to OneSwap as an alternative to that. Now, OneSwap was audited. It's not run directly by Juanchain's team, but it was audited by the Juanchain team. And it was Juanchain community members and supporters who built this. And then they asked Juanchain to audit it. And Juanchain people have communicated frequently with the team to try to help them make a really good product here. And I like it. Now, with that said, I don't hold all my Juanchain on top of here in case some fatal flaw is discovered and it all goes to zero, which if you've been in crypto for a while, sometimes that happens, even if the team has the best of intentions. So, but I do have 60% of my Juanchain tokens sent over here, which some of them have been traded into other things. And Juanchain is my second largest altcoin holding overall because I still feel like it has so much value in it. So I've been taking profits on other tokens as they've hit massive public awareness. I then evaluate, this is really how I do the numbers. From where it's at now, can it do as well as I think Juanchain will do in the future? Okay, the answer is no. For me, then I'm selling that or taking a lot of profits out of that, and sometimes not all. It depends on what I think of the token. And I've been adding to my position in Juanchain as I think Juanchain is still vastly undervalued in my own personal opinion. All right, so how does OneSwap work? Well, I wish I could show you more. I will show you a little bit. If you can see here, I have 2,340 WASP tokens. I have some WAN in here. So I'm going to show you that when you're looking to get any token, it's basically essentially like you're used to on Uniswap. And you can swap between tokens here. And they have all these wrapped versions of, they have a wrapped version of the Vibe token, which I covered 3 weeks ago. They have a wrapped USDT, USDC, a wrapped Uniswap, a wrapped Sushi token. This is the old Bitcoin. They then created a Stormin node for Bitcoin, so you can actually send Bitcoin and get it wrapped directly. And so that was kind of synthetically done. So you don't use this one anymore. You use One BTC. They have EOS, One Ethereum. So these are all wrapped versions of these. FNX token integrates directly with this, so you can get FNX, etc. So you can trade from one of these into the other. Now I'm actually going to be trading some of my WASP to get more WAN. So let me show you how that works. Now I've been harvesting my WASP and getting some returns, so I'm just going to convert 500 of them into Juanchain tokens, and I'm going to swap. And you see the price impact, you know, the same things that you see on Uniswap here. And this tells you the path is going from WASP to WAN USDT to WWAN. So it's taking that path. And I'm going to confirm. Now look at these transaction fees. Okay, so if there was a 1 here, that would be 1 penny. So this is essentially 1/20th of 1 penny. Oh, such a relief from the Ethereum network, where it seems nothing costs under $12 and most things cost $40, $50, $60 these days. So love that. Takes a few seconds, pending here, and then it will update the balances. Awesome. So now I'm going to go over to a pool and add liquidity. So I'm going to add liquidity to WAN and WASP. Now I want to make sure I don't use all my WAN, so I'm not going to do more than that because you need the Juanchain as gas. So I'm only going to do up to 200 of this. It'll automatically rebalance it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and supply this liquidity and confirm supply. All right, so that's about $400 worth of the WASP and Juanchain token that I'm adding liquidity. Now, normally, the next step that you would take after this goes through is you go to farming, you would find this pool, and you would stake it here, WASP1. So you go to manage, and you would say deposit, right? And you would max that out and you would deposit it here. Now in this case, I'm actually going to go to Zookeeper. Now it's done by the same people. This is just an upgrade to what they have going on with the farming side here. So essentially it's the same with some extra stuff. So instead of putting my liquidity pool tokens into this, I'm going to put them in Zookeeper. And I'm going to deposit them here. I'm going to say max. Now, right now, they only have this pool available, which is the Juanchain token and the WASP token. They'll be adding a new pool tomorrow, and they'll bring on those other ones. So I'm going to deposit max here, and then I'm going to validate. Now, because I've done this before, I didn't have to go through approval. You see how cheap this transaction is. It's basically 1/30th of a penny. Such a relief, it really is. I love that about this. See, I still have some things farming in Ethereum, and I literally only harvest them like 30 days because I hate that I'm losing like $50 to transaction fees to harvest, whereas Juanchain is so cheap you can harvest multiple times a day and not even worry about it. All right, so you'll see it's already adding WASP to here. Now the Zoo tokens will be coming. They're not paying those out for like the first week, but why not have them here, sitting here ready to be earning Zoo tokens rather than in this? And I'm going to show you how to get this out. So I have provided liquidity here. Let me show only staked here. So I have lots in the WASP one here. So I'm going to do manage on this, and I'm going to withdraw, and that's automatically going to claim for me, but I'm going to withdraw here. All right, so that's 1/20th of a cent. So if you already have been doing this, this is the path that you would follow. But remember, just do this only on the Juanchain Wasps token right now if you're farming that, because the other pairs aren't available on Zookeeper. Because then you'll be missing out on earning some Wasp tokens. If you pull out the other pools now, just leave them there. And you don't want to pull them all the way out. All I'm doing is removing them from this step. I'm not going the next step of cashing them out, which you would do on the pool tab. I'm not even touching the pool tab. I'm just coming here, withdrawing the liquidity pool tokens, and then I'm going to come to Zookeeper, and I'm going to top up here. There we go. Validate. All right. And confirm. Now let me share with you a little bit more of Zookeeper. You can see Raging Mane Leo here, which is, this is essentially this pool, the Wasp Wand pool. And they'll have other ones come up. But what will happen is you'll start earning Zoo tokens. Now it's a secondary token. Like Wasp, they'll continue to give you Wasp rewards, but Zoo tokens you'll also get. In the Zoo tokens, you can come here to the expedition and you can buy a golden chest or a silver chest. Now a silver chest gives you, I think, a 1 in 10 chance of getting an NFT. This will give you a 100% chance of getting an NFT. So why not wait to buy here? Now when you buy with the Zoo tokens, it will burn them. And so those tokens aren't going to the team. They're actually getting burned when you do this. Another thing that you can do, it's more expensive in the short term. In the long term, it will save you a lot of money, a lot of Zoo tokens anyway, is you can come here and you can stake them. Now, if you stake 9,000, notice that's half of this, but you'll be locking them up for 30 days, and you'll get the chest at the end of the 30 days. You can stake them, and so you'll be saving them, because at the end, my understanding is you get those Zoo tokens back. So at least you're not burning them and losing access to them, but it does then make you be patient for some of those rewards. Now this, you can stake an equal amount to what it would cost to burn them, and you stake them, and in 15 days you'll get your NFT. So what do these NFTs do? Well, they're pixel art like this, but the NFTs have different values of increasing your returns. Not only your returns, but it decreases when you go to, say you go to top up and you want to lock it like this. It'll decrease how long you have to lock it to get the higher returns. And some of those NFTs have really big boosts on them. Some, they're rated in stars, 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, and it's random what you'll get. Obviously, you have a much better chance of getting a 1 star one than a 2 star or 3 stars. But as I was playing around with the testnet the last week and a half, and I bought about 20 of these, I think I got 2 3-star ones, and they were amazing as far as the boosts on them and decreasing your lockup period. To get the extra rewards. Just know you can lock it up here. If you lock it up for, say, 90 days, that's a pretty big boost on your overall returns. So I don't know, what I don't know though, that's a 33% boost. So your Zoo rewards will go up by a lot. What I don't know about that is, can you keep adding when you have a lockup? And that I don't know. So for this pool, I'm not going to be locking it up, because as I get more Wasp tokens, usually I then convert some of those into Juanchain, and I add to this pool regularly. I do add to some of the other pools as well, just most frequently to this one. So I'm not going to do the lockup until I understand better the picture of that, because it's one of the things I forgot to test out on the testnet as I was learning how to use it. All right, so we were at the expedition. You can earn some stuff here. So then those NFTs will be tradable on the market, and you will have a safe that has all your different NFTs in here, and you can just, like, after a while you'll end up with a lot of different NFTs, and you'll have some of them associated with the different things. So here's how you associate them. You go to top up, you will click on an extra boost, and it will pull up your NFTs, and you can select one, and then you can associate that with it, and it will give you whatever boost is associated with that NFT. And like, they're little lollipops or stake or other things, and really what's important is just what the boost is associated with them. So they do have lots more things coming with this down the road. In addition to the new pools, they already have like the next 6 to 12 months planned out that they'll add even more functionality down the road. So they have a long roadmap and just keeping this fun and relevant. So why not have it a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining as you're earning some good rewards farming on something that can do the transactions for so ridiculously cheap over what you're used to paying. So I have loved OneSwap. It has not let me down. It's been a great thing. If you go to the Telegram channel for the OneSwap team, they're very helpful. The devs and team that developed it, they've been really good at answering my questions. And I know some of you have reached out to them. If you haven't already, join my Telegram channel. And I put that in when you click on see more in any one of my videos. You'll see the link to the Telegram channel there. And I'm on there sometimes once a day, sometimes more than that. I do have 2 of my admins are on there frequently, and many of the community members message there. And so I do try to answer the YouTube the questions and interact with you if you just put comments on the YouTube videos. I've been spending more and more time on the Telegram chat because then I can actually just be involved there, and it's been a lot of fun engaging with many of you, so I do thank all of you for joining me. Oh, right. So a few other things. Overall, I want to show you one more part of the OneSwap ecosystem. And so if you come to OneSwap here, this last tab, and it's hard to see unless I pull this out further, but it's Land. And I did want to make you aware that they also have this that you're used to, that you can actually earn some rewards through Land. So you can get a USDT and you can stake that here and earn 13.14% interest. Or on the FNX token, you earn 22.62% token, or Link 8%. So now when I first saw this like a month ago, the rates were pretty poor because there weren't a lot of people borrowing. But as more people have been borrowing, more people have been lending, and the interest rates on these have gotten pretty good. So, I think as a lot more people are coming onto the ecosystem because of the low transaction fees, and they're just becoming familiar with Juanchain and what it is and how to use it. And they're loving the refuge it is on low transaction fees versus even everything else. Not that Binance Smart Chain is all that expensive, but your average transaction will cost 1 cent to 10 cents on there versus 1/20th of a cent here. Does that make sense? As well as many people have forgotten about Juanchain, and most the larger YouTube channels aren't even talking about it. Now what's funny is you will find them all talking about it once Juanchain is like over $10 or $20 or $30, and they'll be like, oh, I'm buying some Juanchain. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can buy now, but right now I'm selling some of mine. So that's what type of channel we are, is identifying the hidden gems before everyone is talking about them, because by the time everyone's talking about them, I'm just an investor. That's my at least take profit 1 zone, and so that's not my buy zone. And so that's why my portfolio has done so well, is because I've just been doing this process over and over and over again, like buying Dent when it was super cheap 6 months ago, nobody's talking about it, and taking profits now that everyone's kind of remembered it. All right, so guys, do thank you for joining me. That was big news that this came out, that State Grid Corporation of China selected them. I do want to share with you, now many of you who have been in my channel for a while, you know this, Manuela from Argentina did this amazing song for us Rainmakers. Now you're a Rainmaker if you subscribe to the channel and you like my videos and you're helping the community grow, and the goal is to continue to grow this community because that puts me in touch with the development team. So the larger the YouTube channel gets, the more connections I'm able to make with the actual development teams on all these different projects. And the way that helps me is that helps me make better decisions on what I'm investing in, because I find out a lot of that not private information that they're under contract not to disclose, but a lot of times there's a lot of good information they can disclose, but you don't get that information unless you're talking to them. And then as I learn that information, I have even better information to give you through this channel. Does that make sense? So it becomes a win-win for everyone. And so I knew that if I want to make even better decisions during this bull market, and even during the coming crypto winter, I needed to take the time and trying to create a good YouTube channel so that you would be interested in subscribing to it, so that together we can create a big community that we can get even better information for better decisions, so that my hope is that my portfolio and the things that I talk about vastly outperform just what generally people are doing. Because with better information does come those better decisions. With better decisions comes better returns, right? That's what I'm all about. And, if we're going to be here anyway, why not maximize the kind of gains that we're getting, right? Till next time, I'm Manuela. Take it away.
Success is falling, flowing like rain. The timing's right, we're getting paid. Come on, Rainmakers, let's make this happen.